Board Games follows the entrepreneur Marcus Dreer and his determination to accomplish his goals by any means necessary, even if it plummets him down a deadly hole of no return. For all of my book lovers out there, Board Games is a simmering drama that boils into a gripping conclusion, and you can find Board Games 1 and 2 now on Amazon, and is written by yours truly, so you won't be disappointed. Mogul Motivation, empowering and inspiring entrepreneurs and dream chasers worldwide, 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media, and I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. This is episode 327. It is also the first episode of the calendar year 2022, and the snow has arrived in Chicago. Winter time is here. Winter is here. We knew it was coming, and it finally arrived on New Year's Day. We got between 4 to 8 inches, and currently this morning is snowing, and we're going to get a couple more inches of snow. So winter has finally come, and with the snow and with winter comes overcast, right? There is no sun in the sky, and if it is sun, it's very little sun. Earlier this week, on Monday to be exact, I started a task. And this task, it took me half the day. And, honestly, even at the time of this recording, I'm not finished with the task. If anything, I'm probably about 50-60% done with the task. But today is Wednesday. Mogul Motivation comes out on Wednesday. I'm recording this episode early this morning before I release it. I didn't pre-record this episode. So it's 2 days after I started this task. And I'm almost 60% finished. I'm almost done. I will be done by the end of the week. This task, ladies and gentlemen, I had been putting off for 6 years. 2016 is when I told myself I was going to do this task, when I told myself I was going to handle this task, but I didn't do it. 2017 came, I still didn't do it. 2018 came, I still didn't do it. 2019 came, I still didn't do it. 2020 came, the world shut down with the pandemic, I still didn't do it. 2021 just came and went, and I still didn't do it. And it wasn't until now, January 2022, 6 years later, that I decided to do this task. And now I'm almost done, and I will be done within a week. And to be honest with you, I didn't even want to do it when I started it a couple days ago. I was having one of those days. I was like, well, it's the new year. Maybe I can just rest, which is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with rest. Rest is essential. And that's one thing I'm trying to preach more and more on Mogul Motivation, that rest is necessary for our clarity and for our growth and ultimately our success as entrepreneurs and dream chasers. So there's nothing wrong with rest. But hear me out. I had already rested. I had rested the entire weekend. I had rested the entire final week of 2021. So here I am saying, you know what, maybe I should just rest. I'll do it when I feel like it. But something in me was like, just try it. Just dabble with it a little bit. So I began to undertake this task. I began to work on it. And then I found a workflow. I'm like, wow, is that easy? So the goal that I gave myself for that day within that task, I had exceeded. I'm like, this is easy. Let me just keep going. And I kept going and I kept going. And before I knew it, should I say, I was halfway done. It took me 1 day to complete about 50% of this task. And I procrastinated for 6 years. That's how heavy, that's how thick the overcast, the spirit of procrastination, insecurity, doubt, hesitation is. It's so thick that it will weigh you down in your business, in your dream chasing goals, in your journey, in your life. You will be weighed down by this overcast because it is so thick, ladies and gentlemen. Like, just step outside, and maybe it might be summertime when you're listening to this episode. But if it's a rainy day, if it's a cloudy day, if it's a snowy day, step outside and look into the sky. You're not going to see a speck of sun. You're going to see nothing but grayness, nothing but clouds. You're going to see a thick overcast everywhere. That's how thick the spirit of procrastination is. That's how thick the spirit of hesitation is. That's how thick the spirit of doubt is. That's how thick insecurity is. It's going to weigh you down. Things that are not as great as you may make them seem in your mind are easily conquerable. In my mind, this task was weighing on me so heavy. It took me 6 years to do it. And in that 6 years, I had to think, what did I miss out on? But the truth of the matter is, here's the good news. Even though you may be weighed down by that spirit of procrastination, even though you may be weighed down by that spirit of hesitation, even though this overcast is so thick over you right now, it's like a dark cloud just hovering over you, that may be true. But the great news is you have to understand everything still happens for a reason, because everything is still going to work out in your favor, because it all goes along according to plan, according to God's plan, according to your faith plan. Listen to what I'm saying. This task that I'm doing right now is very huge and monumental relative to my current goals. That doesn't mean it wasn't important 6 years ago. But what I'm saying is right now, the fact that I'm doing it right now is still going to be a sledgehammer to hammering home what I'm trying to do. Everything happens for a reason. It wasn't time for me to do this task 6 years ago. It wasn't time for me to do this task 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. You know why? Because now I fully have confidence in myself, and I fully believe in what I'm capable of, and I know what I'm doing 100%. There is no hesitation anymore. So because there is no hesitation anymore, the light started to shine and dissipate that overcast. You have to understand that your faith in God, your faith in yourself is going to dissipate that spirit of insecurity, that spirit of doubt, that spirit of hesitation. It might not happen when you think it should happen, but nonetheless, it's always going to be sunshine above those clouds. You ever flew on a plane before? Yeah, it might be overcast in the city, but as that plane continues to ascend, as it continues to rise, that overcast is no more. Now you see nothing but sunny skies. Now you see nothing but sun, and below you is the clouds. Below you is the overcast, but above you is the sun. Above you is opportunity. That's the great news right there. Yeah, it might be overcast in your life right now. It might be overcast in your business right now. You might be insecure. You might be hesitant. You might be doubting yourself. You might be procrastinating for whatever reason it is. But give yourself grace and compassion. Because I was angry at myself initially because it took me 6 years to do this. But then eventually I had to realize I still did it. And the fact I'm doing it now, it carries more weight than it would have if I did it 6 years ago. Because the fact I'm doing it now in this season of my life is even heavier, it's even more monumental, and it's even more important, and it's going to push me even further ahead to accomplishing my goals. Give yourself grace and realize that everything happens for a reason. So if you've been procrastinating, if you've been doubting yourself, if you've been insecure about something, whether it's entrepreneurship, dreams, chasing, whatever it is in your life, I don't know what it is, but you know what it is. Whatever situation you have been overcast with that spirit of doubt and procrastination and hesitation, let me tell you something. Give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, and everything happens for a reason. Do not beat yourself up, because over that overcast of procrastination is the sunlight of faith. It's the sunlight of grace. It's the sunlight of success and greatness. It's going to cut through that dark cloud. It's going to dissipate it, and you are going to be able to accomplish what you've been trying to accomplish. So what does that mean in practical terms? What it means is simply the only way you can cut through that cloud of overcast, the only way you can get over hesitation, the only way you can get over insecurity is just doing it. Bottom line, you can't continue to run for it. You just have to do it. I told y'all, I didn't even want to do the task a couple days ago, but something in my mind clicked and said you have to, because you've been running from it for too long. This overcast has lingered for too long. It's had too much weight on you for too long. So the only way you can cut through those thick clouds with the sunshine is to actually do it. Whatever you are running from, do not run from it anymore. Stop giving it the power. Stop giving it the fear factor in your life, because you are greater than that. Your faith in God is greater than that. So the only way you can cut through the thick clouds is to literally just do it. Stop worrying about what people may say. Stop worrying about being laughed at. Stop worrying about being just another person in the marketplace. It don't matter, because you're not just another person in the marketplace. You're not just another podcast. You're not just another author. You're not just another musician. You are you, and only you can do what you can do. So just do it. That's the practical way to cut through that overcast of procrastination and hesitation. You're hesitant. You're doubting. You're insecure because you're worried about external factors. But if you focus on the internal factor, if you focus on your faith, if you focus on the gifts, the skills, the abilities that God gave you, that's all that matters. And then that's how you move forward. Just do it. Whatever you've been running from, whatever you've been burdened with, just do it. Attack it head on, because running from it is not going to save you. But if you run at it, if you run towards it, it's going to retreat. It's going to dissipate, and you're going to be the one to cut through it. That's how I overcame this overcast, ladies and gentlemen. I just did it. Whatever you're running from, just do it. You praying to God, you asking God for all these big dreams, all these amazing things in your life. You ever realize that God is telling you, that's cool, you can have it, but you got to do it. I already gave you the tools. I gave you the intangibles. You just got to do it. We just have to do it. We have to ascend. If we ascend, we're going to cut through that overcast, and then that's when we're going to see nothing but opportunity. That's when we're going to see nothing but clear skies. That's when we're going to see the sun shining on our face and on our path. If you just do it. And I'm not talking about Nike. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you just getting out there and making it happen. Whatever it is, just literally attack it head on and stop running from it. Stop allowing it to be a burden in your life and to hover over you. And watch how great you will feel. If you gotta rest, that's cool. If you gotta blame yourself or be angry at yourself, that's cool. But you better give yourself grace, and you better give yourself compassion when you're done, because you still got work to do. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. It's thick. It's heavy. That overcast. But once you cut through that motherfucker, it ain't no stopping you. It's nothing that's going to weigh you down and hold you down anymore. But the only way to cut through it is you have to make the choice to cut through it. So if this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you next week.